In this episode, we'll take a look at Japanese white pine or Pinus parviflora culture. Japanese white pines are often considered sort of the queen of the bonsai world. And here at Koken, we work with several varieties of Pinus parviflora, including your typical base variety as well as Setsugoyo or Miyajima white pine. And we also work with dwarf varieties like this Kokonoe here.
赤松や黒松は芽切りをしますが、五葉松は芽切りをしません。なぜかというと、芽切りをした後に芽が吹いてこないので、五葉松に芽切りをすることはできません。
The only exception to this rule is that excessively large or strong candles will be cut in half in mid-spring. In general, though, energy balance and needle length are controlled by limiting fertilizer and carefully watering. Japanese white pines tend to prefer drier conditions. We pot the trees in free draining mix and typically only water once the soil has completely dried out, meaning about once a day during the growing season. In order to avoid damaging the soft new growth, Japanese white pines should be wired once the growth has hardened. In Japan, this means any time between late September to early March. Timing, of course, will depend on one's local climate.
Usually, 通常硬化園では五葉松に対しては春には肥料を置きません。というのも、葉っぱが長くなったり枝が乱れたりすることがあるので、春には極力肥料を置かないようにしています。その代わり秋口から、徐々に肥料を置き始めて、来年の芽出しを良くするために秋にはそこそこの肥料をかけます。
This particular type of white pine is what we call a Setsugoyo or a Miyajima white pine in Japan. It means that the base of the tree is actually a Japanese black pine and the top portion of the tree is a grafted Japanese white pine. Now the reason that we do this is because the base on Japanese black pines, the root systems, are much stronger than your typical white pine. So this allows us to keep the trees alive over a longer period of time. We don't risk losing branches as easily, and over time you get these nice, very thick fissured bark on the trunk, and it blends into where the Japanese white pine has been grafted to the tree. Now, typically with the Miyajima white pines, the foliage is a little bit coarser than your standard Japanese white pine.
今からこの五葉松に針金をかけて整枝をしていきたいと思います。非常に幹も古くて枝つきもいいので綺麗な仕上がりになるのではないかと思います。この木はすでにオーナーがいますが、そのオーナーの希望で現在の正面ではなく裏面を正面にして作り変えてほしいということなので、裏面でいい場所を探して整枝を進めたいと思います。今これが裏面ですけども、一応少し左に振ったところを正面にして作りたいと思います。というのも真裏だと少し平面的になるのと、左に振った方が奥行きも出て幹の動きもよく見えるので、ここを正面にします。そして、頭が後ろへ逃げるので、実際もう少し前へ傾けたような形で作ることになると思います。今針金を順番に下からかけていっています。盆栽というのはだいたい普通枝を下げて作っていくので、上から枝を下げてしまうと下の枝が邪魔になってくるので、順番に下から下げていって、きっちり棚を決めていくというやり方をします。これで針金掛けは終わりました。この木はあまり懐の枝がないんですけども、 長い枝をうまく、遠いところへ動かしながら重ねることによって懐があるような風に、製糸をしています。ただし、懐に目を入れていく時もなるべく、枝同士がクロスさせないようにということに気をつけてやった方がいいと思います。それで一応これで完成です。
This raft style white pine is owned by one of our customers here at Cây Cảnh Nursery. It's been in his collection for probably 20 to 30 years, and it was collected long before that. It's got some great characteristics. The connected root style is absolutely fantastic. All the bark is very old and fissured, all the way out to the tips of the branches, which means this tree is extremely old. The foliage is a good size for the overall size of the tree. It does have some flaws in that some of the trunks are a bit straight, and it doesn't necessarily have a nice flow to the overall design. So what I'm going to do is go through here, wire this tree, bend some of these trunks around, and see if we can get a better, more concise design to the tree. At this stage of the game, what we've done is taken a brace right here and attached it to the bottom part of this furthest tree to the left. We've bent it backwards and out to the outside to get a little more movement here in the natural curve. Now what we'll do is apply the same type of system on the inside of the plant here to bend this top section back towards the middle. That way we get a better overall flow to this design. This is the final tree after all of the branches have been placed. If you notice, all of the individual clusters of needles are all evenly spread out. The pads are all perfectly flat on the bottom and rounded on top. So even though this tree doesn't have a lot of back buds, we've been able to create sort of that same effect by pulling those smaller buds on the inside of the branches upwards. This tree is actually named Amano Hashidate after an area in northern Japan of the same name. At Amano Hashidate, a sandbar of pine stretches across the bay. It's said that by viewing the sandbar upside down through one's legs, one can see the pathway to heaven.